is a fascia stretch, so it's going to stretch everything from the bottom of the heel all the way up into your lower back. You'll feel it in different places depending on where you're tied, and also depending on how you do the stretch. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find a step of some sort. I've got a Reebok step here in the gym. You could use a stair or anything you can put your foot up on. You're going to lift your toes, rest on the step, and try and have your feet square, so don't have your other leg miles behind you. You're going to pull your toes up towards you. So you're activating this muscle here, the tibialis anterior, pulling your toes up. You're going to flex your quad, other leg straight. Should already feel a stretch here. I've got it in the calf. Bend over at the hip. It's good to have something to lean on. I've got a radiator here. Bend it over at the hip. You feel that stretch nice and deep, all the way up the leg, and feel it from there all the way down there. I'm still pulling my toes up. I'm still flexing my quad hard. I'm now bent over. I'm now going to travel forwards as well. So I'm just pushing my hips forward. So I've gone from sitting back like a deadlift to now also pushing my hips forwards, which is going to increase the stretch even more. And I've actually got it more now in the calf at the bottom. Toes are still up, still flexed here, still tight. Really feel this is a deep stretch all the way up the leg. You want to hold this one for about 30 seconds and just ease out of it. Shake it off, have a 5-second break, then go in again. You'll get a little bit deeper this time. Set, toes up, flex your quad, hips back, travel forwards. Nice deep stretch in the calf. Hold that again for about 30 seconds. That'll make a big difference to your whole posterior chain. Okay, we're going to use the Olympic bar now to stretch through your ankles. This will especially stretch the ligaments. So you're going to take your feet in a squat position. Don't have them turned out too much, relatively straight. You're going to squat down. You're just going to place the Olympic bar on your knees there as you're on the way down. Now you're just going to sit into a squat, get as far as you can down, and you sit up straight, chest up, so you're doing an actual squat. You're using the weight of the bar, just sat on the edge of the knees there, using the weight of the bar to push my knee forward and down, keeping my heels on the floor, so stretching through the back of the ankle, ligaments just by the Achilles tendon there. Nice deep stretch. What you can do, you can work in one side, so I'm going to the left side here, just putting some weight through my left arm, pushing through there, bouncing in and out a little bit, stretching through the left ankle, and then over to the right, pushing through. It's important that you keep your knees out. You don't want to be all like that and collapse. Good position. You may find if you're not as flexible as me, you won't get all the way down to a deep squat. So you get as far as you can, and you just sit there, just let it push you through. This will get tiring on your quads after a little while. Just let the weight of the bar push you down slowly. Eventually you'll be able to sit comfortably in the bottom of a squat. Stretching through there. You can see, sit here, nice and flexible. Okay, so we're going to do the hip flexor stretch. Now that's what I like to do on my feet. A lot of people do it on their knees. I think it's better to do it actively on your feet. So you're going to stand side on. You're going to step out as though you were to do a lunge or a jerk. First thing you're going to do is you're going to squeeze your glute. So back leg, which is my left side here, squeeze the glute. Even just there, just being in this stance with my glute on, feel a stretch through there. From there, you're just going to work forward over your toes of your front leg. So keeping the back leg at the same angle, which is slightly bent in the knee. Pushing through my right knee, my front knee. Stand up straight, abs in, glutes still on tight. Feel a nice deep stretch in there. You can work in and out a little bit. Now I think this is a much better way of doing it than doing it on the floor, how most people do it. By doing it actively, it mirrors more the positions that you're going to be doing whilst you're actually exercising, which is obviously going to be on your feet, not on your knees on the floor. There's two variations of this stretch. The first one is going to be more rotation based, which is that movement. The second one will be more flexion based, which is that with an element of rotation as well. So you'll feel it in a slightly similar place, but not exactly the same. You can use a bench, you could easily use your box, or anything that you can raise to about between knee and hip height. You're going to put a foot across yourself on the bench. I'm just going to put my weight on my arms on the bench, and I'm going to bring my knee down to the bench. You can see I've bent my back leg. I'm now at a right angle in this knee. Weight is on the back leg and on my hands. And then from there, I'm just going to sit down into it. So I'm just moving my hips downwards. The further down I go, the more I'm going to feel the stretch. Keep my back straight, I'm not rounded over it. Chest up, back straight, weight is on my arms, and my back leg. And just nice deep stretch on the outside of the hip. I'll show you on the other side. So you sit down, you really feel that just through the rotators of the leg. You can feel it just in the side, the corner of your glute there. Nice deep stretch. Just sit into this one, just deep breaths in and out. In this variation we're focusing more on flexion, which is that movement, which is i.e. the bottom of the squat. So you can have an angled bench this time. It only really works on a bench, I think, this one. So you're going to go exactly the same. You're going to leg across yourself, ankle and knee on the bench, weight on the back leg. This time you're going to sit down, keeping your back straight still. What you'll find is there's not as much rotation. The higher up the bench you have, the higher you have the bench, the less rotation there'll be. Now you're just going to sit back, so there's more flexion. As you can see, my stomach is now touching my leg, so I'm in full flexion. I can't physically go any further. Still feeling it deeper in there this time. It's lower down. It's more the back, the base of my upper leg bone, where it sits in deep into the hip. So I'm just sitting in, I'm bending over, trying to keep my back straight still, abs in, just sitting into that. You can pull yourself into it using your arms. That really works on that deep flexion position right down here. Being able to sit right down into the bottom of this deep squat. Okay, this is going to be a movement specific stretch for the adductors, the inside of the leg. So really combat if your knees drop in when you squat. So you're going to stand in a squat stance slightly wider probably than normal, but try and have your feet just slightly turned out, not too much. First thing you do is you're going to slightly bend, and you put your hands on the inside of your knees. Then you're just going to sit down into a squat using your arms or your hands to push your knees out wide. You can sit all the way down if you can get there. My knees are nice and wide. I'm sat up straight and I'm using my arms, using my elbows to push out against my knees and stretch through the inside of my legs. If you can't get all the way down into a deep squat like this, that's fine. You just sit, get to where you can get and just work on pushing out. Don't let the foot rotate out as you do. As soon as your feet rotate out, it takes the stretch off. So you keep your feet straight, you sit down, you're pushing out, ease out, sit there. You can sit in this position for about 20 to 30 seconds. You can make a prayer type sign if you want to get some leverage. It's more comfortable to push my elbows out, pushing my hands into each other. It's a nice deep stretch, and up we come. Okay, the good morning is a great exercise to use as a warm-up. So just got an Olympic bar. You can put it on my back, same position as a squat, possibly slightly lower on your shoulders. You can set your feet in a squat stance, turn slightly out, but not too much. And then you're just going to hinge from the hip. So you're going to slightly bend your knees, you're going to sit back and stretch through the back of your legs before coming through and finishing by squeezing your glutes. So you sit back, stretch, and through. All the time my knees are slightly bent, but I'm not bending or straightening them anymore. Show you side on. Squat stance. Slight bending in the knees. Sit back, keep your back straight. Sitting back, sitting back, sitting back. And through with the glutes. Squeeze your bum at the top. Sit back. stretch, and through. If you're not as flexible as me, you won't get as far as me. You might only get to about there. That's totally fine. Do it based on the stretch that you feel in your hamstrings, not based on the absolute range of motion. So if you get to here and feel a stretch, that's fine. Do it to there. You work in, you come through. You work in, you come through. If you do 10 reps, maybe 2 sets if you need to. Okay, we're going to use the double lacrosse balls to stretch your upper spine, your thoracic spine. So it's 2 lacrosse balls taped together. What you're going to do is you're going to sit, you're going to place your spine in the middle of the balls. Start about at the bottom of your ribs on your back, so it's about there. You're going to sit back, take a breath in, and then cross my arms over and just lay back. You might hear some cracks in your spine as you do this. It's totally normal, don't worry about that. What you're going to do is you're just going to do just some little movements up and down, some mini crunches. Just going to work side to side. And then you're just going to roll along to the next vertebrae. So just move yourself down slightly. Sit back. Nice crack there. Just go side to side. You could try laying back and lifting your legs, pushing down through your abs all the time. Be careful if you're not very flexible that you're not taking the stretch off by sticking your belly out. So if you do that and you're at your back and stick your belly out, there's actually no pressure on the balls. So you're going to work down, you're going to work all the way up your back. Sit back, crack. I get a lot of cracks doing this. Just tend to pull your t-shirt up and get stuck. Between the shoulder blades especially, you want to work side to side to get into the muscles underneath your shoulder blades. And once you get up near the top near your upper traps, just reach your arms overhead. Sit your head back on the floor. You're just going to take your arms overhead. Don't worry if you can't get all the way to the floor. Just get where you can get to. You can do one side at a time. Stretching through, just working up and down. So these are great for increasing thoracic extension. Thoracic extension will allow you to get a good position overhead, good front rack position, good squat position. Okay, we're going to stretch through your chest, which will help with your overhead position and your rack position. So we're going to go into a press up position on the floor. So hands by your sides, lay on the floor. From there, I'm going to do the right side first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push through the right arm whilst pushing the left shoulder down to rotate around. So pushing the left shoulder down, pushing up through the right hand, just looking up a little bit. I can feel that stretching through the left side of my chest. Get a nice deep stretch in there, just hold it and relax. Just go into again. I'll do it the other way. It's important that you keep the elbow in. So I'm going to go to the left. And as I do, I'm going to keep my right elbow in. Right shoulder's pushing down, right elbow's in, looking up, reaching around. If I do that, it takes the stretch off. Just keep your hand flat, shoulder down, and elbow in, reaching around. Hold for 20 seconds. Do each side 2 to 3 times. Again, it's an active stretch. You're pushing into it. Doesn't really do much if you just sort of hang about there. You've always got to be pushing in as hard as you can. Okay, we're going to work on the area underneath your arm, so your lats, where it meets your rotator cuff, and a bunch of other muscles that all attach around here. This is your overhead position, be able to get your arm behind your head, and your rack position, be able to get your elbow up. So, 2 options. We've got the lacrosse ball, which is my preferred option, or the foam roller. So, lacrosse ball first. You're going to lay on your side. You're going to put the ball in your armpit basically. You're going to lay on it. Arms up over my head. Weights down into the ball. Try and pull the arm up behind your head and rotate it out. And you're just going to work up and down through that muscle. It's quite uncomfortable on this. This is even uncomfortable for me, and I'm not tight, so it'll be very uncomfortable if you are tight in here. Just working through, changing the angle a bit, look around, work forwards and backwards a little bit. You're looking for your tight spots, you're looking for where it hurts, you're looking to find a clump of scar tissue to work on, to release off. You can also use the foam roller, same idea. Lay on it on your side. This, because it lifts you off the ground a lot, what you want to do is you want to lift your arm up and behind your head and just rolling through again. Looking forwards and backwards. I prefer the ball because it's more pinpoint, but the roller does work as well. And you can sort of side bend over it, go through, just working through different motions, looking for where it hurts, looking for where you can feel it. And then after you do that, you'll find that your positioning will be better. Okay, we're going to work the extension and the rotation for the front rack. So for your front squats, jerks, cleans, you can take a piece of dowel or stick. This is actually off the TRX, but most weightlifting gyms will have wooden dowel. Just going to hold it at the back there, so it's outside of my elbow, gripping the bar. Just going to hold the opposite end, so I'm lifting it up like that, suck my shoulder back, I'm going to push up. As you can see, that's going to rotate my arm out. My shoulders back, and it's rotating out. Straight on, it's up, just pulling this up, and that rotates my arm up and out. Keep my elbow in. If I do that, it takes it off. Elbow in, rotating out, pushing up. This will stretch the rotators through your shoulder. Now this looks very easy for me because I've been doing it for a long time. If you're tight there, that will be really tight and you'll know about it. So just push through as far as you can get. You can change the angle, you can push upwards, you can rotate more, you can pull your elbow in. You're just working on that combination of up and out. The more aggressive you are, the deeper the stretch is going to be. This is one that I would recommend you hold for about 20 to 30 seconds, ease out, and then go in again, and you'll get a little bit deeper. 2, 3, 4 times, depending on how much you need it. Do this before you do your cleans, your front squats, your jerks, and pretty soon it'll be second nature. Okay, just get a quick stretch for your wrist, for your rack position, if you're finding that it's uncomfortable on cleans or jerks. Just going to go on the floor, on all fours. You're going to turn this hand out or in, whichever way you want to look at it, pointing backwards. Shoulder pulls down and back. I'm just going to use my body weight just to sit back, just stretching through there. So my arms straight, shoulders down. I'm just sitting my body weight back and stretching through there. Got a nice deep stretch through that part of my forearm. Just hold that. Come out of it, have a breath, shoulder down, go in again, arm straight, go a little bit deeper. Just make sure you're keeping your arms straight, locked out, pressing through, nice deep stretch. And that will help with you getting that flexion there as you're holding the bar on your shoulders.